Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Arya Bahreini, a junior from Edmond, Oklahoma, who finished runner-up in the Oklahoma City Memorial Half Marathon this weekend. You finished as the runner-up this year. You were the winner in that event last year. What can you say about your performances in this event?
Just going back to just a few days ago, I mean, race plan went according to plan. We started off, going out fast, and I just maintained a good pace. So it all fell in together. It was good.
This is an event that featured about 25,000 runners, and obviously it's a big deal to the city of Oklahoma City. Talk about the experience of running in this event.
The Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon is it's a great opportunity to give back to the community. As Coach Holt said earlier, just thousands of runners from Oklahoma and different states and even different countries come together to remember those lives that were lost, 20 years ago. And it's just a great event. It's put on, it's good.
Your coach, Conor Holt, is the record holder in the marathon. Has he given you any special tips, advice that you may not have known beforehand about running an event like this?
Yeah, even though I haven't ran the marathon at this event, in the past when I did run the marathon, he definitely gave some really good pointers on what to expect and how to race, because he was an Olympic trial qualifier himself, so the man knows his stuff.
You were the NAI marathon winner last year. Talk about your expectations for the postseason coming up this season.
This season, I would definitely like to better my time from last year, 2:29. Going in, though, it's a national, so it's not really necessary about your time, but more about placing. So, I mean, just as long as I win it again, I'll be content.
What's your major here at OCU?
I'm a cell and molecular biology major.
Talk about your career plans following college.
After college, I graduate, my plan on attending medical school, whether at OU or wherever I get into, honestly, and just pursuing, the medical field, and just haven't really decided on what yet, but leaning towards some kind of physician.
All right. Talk about what a typical day is like for you.
Oh, boy. Well, other than school and running, I'm either just studying or just hanging out with some of my teammates or just sleeping, honestly. It's just a big cycle. Just eat, sleep, school, repeat.
What's your training schedule like?
During the weekdays as a team, we practice every day at around 3:30, and we usually end around 5:30. So give or take about 30 minutes here and there. And then on weekends, if there's competitions and whatnot, we're usually out of state or somewhere else, just racing.
All right, thanks very much. We're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Arya Bahreini, Stars track team about to compete in the NAI Championships. You can follow that on OCUsports.com.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at naia.org.
Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to track and cross country coach Conor Holt. Several of his runners had good finishes in this weekend's Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. And Coach, you had a pair of runners that finished runner-up in the half marathon. Talk about those guys.
Well, Michaela Warner from Grove, Oklahoma. She was runner-up in the women's half, and she's had a great freshman season so far, and we're looking forward to kind of seeing what happens here in a few weeks. She's qualified in the 10K and the marathon for the national championship, so I'll be sitting down with her and kind of figuring out what the game plan is. But great run. And then on the boys' side, Arya Bahreini, he got runner-up in the men's half marathon. He'd won the half last year, but he'd ran a much slower time. And this year he had some great competition. There was a young man that finished just right ahead of him who's an elite athlete. So that really pushed Arya to having a great performance, and it was a good PR on that course, and that's not a PR-friendly course. But he had a great run. He's qualified, obviously, in the 10K, the marathon, the 5K now, and we'll have to sit down together and kind of figure out what the game plan is. But great performances all around, yeah.
Dylan Smith-Sutton became an automatic qualifier for the NAIA Championships with his top 10 finish in the marathon. Talk about his performance.
Yeah, we were kind of figuring all along here, will we run him in the half or will we run him in the full? And he was kind of, open to doing the full. He's an interesting character. He works in the mailroom here on campus, and every time I see him, he's rolling. He walks at like 6-minute pace. So I figured, you know what, if you can walk 6-minute pace around campus delivering mail, I think he could probably run 26.2 miles in about 6:20 per mile. And sure enough, he actually ran a bit quicker. Coach Aguero was out there with him, roaring at him and telling him to slow down for a few miles because he was excited about running fast. But pretty good debut for a lot of times, with a debut marathon, it can go really well or really crappy. My debut marathon went really crappy. And that's a long time gone ways back there. But he had a good run, and he's qualified now. And we're kind of excited to see what he does down in Gulf Shore, Alabama. So, yeah.
Your wife and your assistant coach, Camille, won the women's marathon again.
Yep.
Third time in 4 years, 18th marathon victory overall. Got to make you pretty proud, huh?
Yeah, obviously a great ambassador for the sport, I think. She's a great role model. And, she won the 100K 2 weeks ago, National Championships, the fastest time in the world since 2008. So it was kind of like, will we come back 2 weeks later to go do this? But we kind of talked about it and we figured, you know what? It's our hometown marathon. She kind of wants to go out there and kind of be a good ambassador, a good role model for up-and-coming runners. And she pulled it off. Yeah, it was a good run, and very happy for her. She's taking a nice long break now, getting excited about doing some things for the USA team in the summer. She's involved with the Pan Am Games up there in Canada, and then obviously she has the World Championships to look forward to in the Netherlands in September. So a good run all around. Yeah.
What were the conditions like on Sunday for the marathon?
It was cool, but a lot of runners, what I found was good running conditions, but what I thought was that some runners didn't really hydrate really well because they kind of saw this temperature coming up. So some of the people that I were associated coaching with and some of the people that I know that were up there running, they kind of had some cramping issues, some dehydration issues. And that's always a kind of a thing with the marathon, is that you could be feeling great at 20 miles, and then 22, 23 miles, you're on your hands and knees. And that's the tough thing about marathons. But good conditions compared to the previous years where it was lashing rain and there was storms going around. You didn't even know whether we were going to run the event or not. But, that event has grown so much. When I ran it, there was only about 5,000, 6,000 people completed it, and now there's 25,000, over 25,000 people. And I think it's a testament to the organization of that race. It's a testament to the people and the community of Oklahoma City that they've embraced this race around the whole message of what the memorial is all about, giving back to the community, celebrating life, and just looking forward to the future.
Also this weekend on Saturday, Evan Doremus won the high jump. Sarah Moore took the 800-meter race at the Southwestern Relays. Talk about those performances.
Yeah, we tried to get some kids into Drake Relays and it didn't work out. The Drake Relays competition this year was really high. So we decided to go to this other little meet up in southwest Kansas. Coach Helmer up there puts on a great meet. And that was Evan's first jump since he has the A standard. It was a little windy for him, but he did good. And we're looking forward now to the national championships with him. Sarah had a great run. Basically what I told her was run hard through 600 and just hang on, and that's basically what she did. She went through 600 meters in 1:35, which is actually a PR for her. And then it was looked like she was carrying a bag of potatoes the last 200 meters. But she did good, and we're looking forward now to seeing her run a pretty top-notch 1,500 meters this weekend and see what she can do. Yeah.
Overall, you guys have 20 automatic qualifiers for the NAIA Championships as well as 2 more provisional qualifiers. Who else do you think might qualify?
Yeah, I'm looking more to the middle distance now. I think some of our middle distance runners have an opportunity to kind of, we have some big meets coming up, and I think, the likes of Hunter Swink has an opportunity to pop a good one. I'm debating the opportunity to maybe run a 4x8. I think we could put together a pretty stellar 4x8 and kind of see what happens. We've got a good group qualified now to go down to Gulf Shore, Alabama and knock out a good one, I think, yeah. So.
You guys have seen a lot of success as a program under your leadership. What are your expectations heading into this year's championships?
I think when you 4 years ago, I basically started this program from scratch, and over the last few years, I think it's a testament to a lot of things. The kids believing in what I talked about when I was recruiting them, and then the kids coming in and buying into what I talk about on a daily basis. If you work hard and you dream big, and you just look after yourself. And I think that's a big part of it is at the college level, you're only one step below the elite level. And what we have now is a lot of kids that could probably go on and become Olympic trials qualifiers and maybe professional athletes down the road. So, and I think that's what you have to do as a program is you can never stop believing in what's even better out there for you all. And I think our kids are at the point now where they want to achieve even more. You have 2 national titles, a few national champions, numerous 40 All-Americans, and doing well in the schoolwork too. 3.3 on the men's side, 3.8 GPA on the women's side, and I think we've established that, and we've signed a huge recruiting class for next year. A lot of the same ideas with kids, I think, that want to get better. And I think that's what running's all about. You just want to get out there and be successful. And that's what I talk about every day. I'm the kind of guy who I never really rest on my laurels. I'm always wanting to what can I do even better the next day? And I try and portray that with my kids, hopefully I do anyway, that, don't rest on your laurels. What can you do even better the next day? So we're rolling along here. I think it's exciting to see what we do down in Gulf Shore and maybe come away with something similar to what we did last year. So yeah, we're excited.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Talking to track cross country coach Conor Holt. Postseason coming up for the track team. You can follow their progress on OCUsports.com.